The new security concern in wine country. We've learned the National Guard is scaling back its patrols, raising fears of more looting in the fire zones. Good evening, I'm Veronica Dela Cruz.
I'm Alan Martin. The National Guard checkpoints have played a critical role policing the entrances to burned out neighborhoods. Only on 5, we learned that most of the checkpoints are now gone. Emily Turner went to find out what the plans are now to protect the areas. Emily?
Yeah, for example, this is a road, Mark West Springs Road, that at one point was shut down by the National Guard and you could only get in if you had a pass. Well, it's now open, as you can see with all this traffic, opening up these neighborhoods that are completely destroyed and completely exposed. Except, take a look at the horizon. There's not much to hide behind for looters, and so the sheriff's office says they'll certainly be able to keep these safe. For the last 3 weeks, the devastation of David Coronado's home has been a private matter, thanks to the National Guard and the checkpoints they man, keeping out the public.
I don't want to go see anybody else's tragedy. I don't want anybody else to see ours.
But the Guard's presence is now being phased out. At one point, there were 900 National Guard soldiers staffing 50 checkpoints in unincorporated Sonoma County and Santa Rosa. Now there are 80 soldiers and 7 checkpoints left in the city of Santa Rosa. The county doesn't have any checkpoints, the sheriff says, but Rob Giordano doesn't think his deputies will have a problem patrolling.
We're always worried about looting, but frankly, that's going to happen in the areas where the houses are, and we put the people back into the houses to stop that.
Got it.
So, but it's really easy to drive around at night as a deputy sheriff and see people in an area where there's no people and stop them.
So far, his deputies have arrested about 17 people he says were up to no good in areas close to them. And the National Guard says they turn around at least one suspicious person a day from checkpoints. So what were you able to save out of the ashes?
Nothing.
Even though the lots are burned, it's still a crime to trespass on people's property. But it's not a crime to rubberneck. And the National Guard says they've had to turn around tourist buses already wanting to see the damage in areas with controlled access.
I don't know why they'd want to come. There's nothing to see. I mean, this is destruction, and it's, you know, it's a personal kind of tragedy, and I guess this would be kind of stopping to look at a body on a freeway in a wreck.
Along with those 7 checkpoints, the National Guard does still have a presence remaining at the 2 remaining shelters. It's at the Aquatic Center as well as at the fairgrounds. Guys?
Emily, obviously the Guard there for a good reason, but a little bit more, if you can, about the suspicious people who've tried to get through those checkpoints.
Yeah, there were 2 instances that one of the Guard members told me about, one of which was a family, and they came with the potted plant. The kids had it in the back seat, and they said, oh, we're going to that house right there, and we want to deliver this plant to our friends. And they said, okay, do they know you're coming? They said, yes, we've called them. They said, well, can you call them so they can escort you through the checkpoint? At which point they said, oh, we don't know their number. We don't have a way to get in contact with them, and they were turned away. In another instance, a man drove up in a car. He tried to get through. They said, do you have any identification? He said, I'm with a construction company on the other side. He had like a reflective DOT vest on and had written construction and permanent marker on it, but couldn't provide any information or ID about the construction company, nor could he even present any personal identification. He was also turned away.